Rex, he's camera shy. We're here. We're here. Dun, dun, dun. We left Edgewater about 7 o'clock this morning. Made some test hits out there. Oh, White Claws is here. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Guys, I officially made it to War in the Woods. It wasn't too bad of a trip, but I had to drop the trailer because the prison bus is too big to fit into the lower area down here. Thankfully, Jeff was willing to work with me. I mean, I had to drop the trailer, drop the bus so I could fit down here. But I was able to get down here on the lower level to help with merchandise sales and stuff like that. And I greatly appreciate it because I made a big investment. I sold my 24-foot enclosed trailer and bought merchandise with that money. So it was a big investment to come out to this race and a couple other races. But there's a lot of spectators that come to this race. And Brown County Dragway is a freaking awesome, awesome place. It's some people call it sketchy, and I wouldn't call it sketchy. I'd call it unforgiving. Okay, if you got a car that's built for going down like a real no prep car. Now, if you got a radial car and you try to bring it down a track like this, it's just not the same, right? But if you have a decent car that you'd no prep race, and you'd no prep race on surfaces that are not premier facility surfaces, it's just a tuner's game and a chassis tuner's game and a power management tuner's game. And Straight Gangster's been doing pretty well. We did a little bit of testing last night, breaking in some new tires, and I had a little bit of wheel speed up into the 60 foot, until 1 second into the run. So just a little bit before the 60 foot, the tire locked in. And that's what I aimed for, but it had a little bit additional wheel speed going into testing out at Edgewater yesterday. So with that being said, the track was scraped at Edgewater, okay? That same tune-up has gone pretty good 60 foots in this little hot rod here. But it's gonna be a little bit of a challenge. I believe small tire is running after big tire. So big tire is gonna lay down a nice fat wide footprint, and the surface should be pretty clean for at least the first 100 feet of the surface. Straight Gangster is a bad mamma jamma from 100 feet out. So I'm gonna go over a couple of things. I gotta set all this stuff up, me, myself, and I. But I got 2 canopies here, so we're gonna set up the canopies. I'm probably gonna put down, I took the rug out of the bus, our area rug. I'll probably lay that down to pull the car on in case I have to do some work on the car and stuff like that. Crawl underneath the car will be a little bit better than crawling on the ants and stuff like that. Not that I haven't done that in the past, but hey, a little bit older, a little bit wiser, I guess you could say. So I'm gonna set this all up. I might ask someone to hook up to the trailer and either spin the trailer around or move the trailer a little bit. But right now, I think I'm gonna just get a little bit of work. Hey, look who showed up. Look who showed up. How's it going, buddy? Me and Sexy Rexy, he's my #1 crew guy today, this weekend, and racing for 40 grand. And my crew guy's got some pretty crooked hands, so we're gonna see how this one turns out. Guys, here we are for War in the Woods. It is Friday afternoon, probably, I don't know what it is. I don't know, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. People are just getting off work and stuff like that. And you can see how many people are here. Tomorrow night, it is going to be freaking packed. So it's a pretty cool event. You can see all the people up in the woods and stuff like that. But tomorrow, this place is going to be a madhouse. This is first pair of big tire for second round. I think they got maybe 2 more pairs, and then they're going to do a small tire chip draw. And then we should be running right around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And I think I'm going to try to get after it. Get after it. With a race like this, you either have to be up at the top of the field first round, or your chances going, deep into the rounds are slim. You got to start taking a big chance of that. But here it is, first round. I'm going to spin it around. First round, second round, first pair of big tires. sorry guys, there's a little break in the music and stuff like that, so we can do a little video. We're up here, getting ready. We are 31st pair in the right lane, running this black Malibu. I believe it's a nitrous car. It looks like a nitrous car. They got a matte gas torch in it, so it's a bottle fed baby. But we are 31st pair right lane. Doug Semler's, there's some Brandon Mork here, 30th pair, and there's been some fast passes here, so we're getting ready to. I'm gonna try to lay one down here. Whether it goes, I think it's going to. I wouldn't put a tune-up in it that I didn't think was gonna get down there, but we're gonna try to make a hit here, and that's just how I like to race. I don't try to race where I gotta pick it up several tenths of a second, which is several car lengths in an 8th mile drag race. I try not to race that way, but Strike Gangster's a pretty good car. It did well in testing, and the track's decent. So we're gonna try to go fast here. We're gonna see what happens, and let the chips fall where they may.
We're out here in War in the Woods.
So guys, we're gonna do a little first round recap here, or what the goal was. So we made some pretty good 60-foot hits in Shady Side at the No Prep race out there. Shady Side, believe it or not, the track was, Brown County Dragway is pretty smooth out to about 115 to 125 feet. So with the big tire running first and being 31st pair in small tire, I figured we had a pretty good chance to be able to 60 foot pretty dang good out there. So with it being only first round, knowing that we had probably 6 rounds, I think 6 rounds of racing to win the deal, I think it was 6 rounds, I figured we were gonna have to be able to 60 foot pretty dang good to compete out into the later rounds. So I put the tire pressure in it. We'll talk about this a little bit more as the video goes on, but we'll just get into the details of first round. I put a lot of tire pressure in the car to be able to 60 foot as fast as I felt like I needed to in the later rounds. So first round we go out there and it makes it a half a second into the round, and it was walking out of the groove just slightly, and it came into a small wheelie which porpoised the chassis and knocked the tire clean off the thing. You see me short shift it, and you'll see me as soon as, in the video there, you see me whack the shifter as soon as I felt the tire like slip away like that. But believe it or not, that 60 foot right there cost us over 3/10 of a second in the 60 foot. I pedaled it twice, and then I had to wait until the chassis stabilized a little bit there. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I walk the track and I take detailed notes on where I feel like I could pedal it. I tried to pedal it and see if the chassis would take it. Had too much tire pressure in it for the first 2 pedal jobs, so I had to wait until the chassis stabilized, and then I did a nice slow press into it, and it rolled out the back. But I figured we could run a pretty good mile an hour out the back, no scramble. But it went out there and it got the job done. But that didn't give me a whole lot of confidence for second round, and I essentially, I don't want to say against my better judgment, but I felt like there was a possibility we could run the number that we needed to by slowing the 60 foot down for second round. So I took the tire pressure out of it. I tightened up the rear rebound 2 clicks. I loosened up the front rebound 2 clicks going into the second round. And here you're going to see a pretty good lick second round here. It was probably, I think I could safely say it was top 4 passes of second round. The sucker leg went down, and believe it or not, we had 4 pedal jobs in there, even though you could only hear 1 big pedal job for second round.
Action.
So guys, second round, I left the same tune-up in it. I just made a chassis change because I'm a firm believer in chassis management over power management. And the car just, it wanted to take it first round. It was literally first half second of the run. If it would have made it another quarter second, the car would have made one of the fastest passes first round. But I had to revert back to I had to give myself a little bit more confidence. I don't want to say it that way, but that first round tune-up was there. It was so freaking close, but at the same time, without Lady Gangster being there and without a normal crew, I had to open up my discretion a little bit. So I took 1.5 pounds of tire pressure out of it. I made a rear shock change and a front shock change just to let the chassis take it. Not necessarily as fast. I know I wouldn't be able to go as fast as a 60 foot with the way it was there, but we could still be pretty close to the fast guys in the first 60 feet. And if need be, I'll just start chipping away at it in the later rounds. So second round, we got Boost 12. Boost 12 is one of the, I don't want to say pioneers of the sport, but he was around it in the early days of the first small tire no prep racing. This is probably going back to 2007, 2008 or so, while I was still in high school. They had what was called King of the Streets up in the Chicago area, and that's where they're from. And they've been doing the small tire stuff for a long time. He's got a black car. I believe that's got a billet Hemi deal in it. And then he's got this this other car that we ran here. That's also a pretty fast car. That's they run on the street, and the not perfectly smooth small tire no prep scene. And the car runs pretty freaking good. So Like I said, the tune-up was already in it within the first, I don't know, tune-up was in it. Like, I literally left the same tune-up in it. And I made the shock setting change and made the call on tire pressure pretty much by the time I got back to the pits. I just knew that I needed to open up my discretion for second round. I knew I wouldn't be as fast as it could be, but I felt, I knew how fast we've been running it in that setup. So that's what we did for second round.
How about it? What a thing.
Action.
So guys, after second round, that sucker made a lick. It 60 footed, 1/100th off of what I was targeting. I'm not gonna say the ET. I'm not gonna say the ET, but it 60 footed really well. It wadded up the tire. It got on the tire a little bit because I took the tire pressure out of it, and it started wheeling about 1 second into the run till about 225 feet out. Believe it or not, there was 4 pedal jobs in that deal. Maybe we'll add a deal in here, but I think we're gonna do another short video after this, and I'll talk about the tuning. I'll go into more detail, show you the tire pressure, show you the chassis movements and stuff like that, and why I made the changes. But believe it or not, there was 4 pedal jobs in there. 2 pedal jobs before the 330. Yeah, 2 pedal jobs before the 330 and 2 after the 330. In the video, you could only really hear 1 pedal job, and that was at low 4 seconds into the run, where I had to bring the throttle all the way down to 0% to walk the car back to the center line, because the track is concave, probably about 3 to 5 degrees to the outside of the track there. So when it carried the tires out there to 150, 200 feet out, it started pulling the car to the left. So I short shifted it and pedaled it and calmed it down, and I was pretty proud of my driving job on that one, because I'll go through, like I said, in later videos, and I'll talk about the pedal job to the steering input, to the pedal job to steering input, going some pretty good mile an hour out the back. But we were able to put 3.5 cars on him, and 3.5 cars on Boost 12 is pretty impressive, especially with 4 pedal jobs in there, and the chute's out a little bit early. Guys, you can't see me real well right now, but you'll see once we get up here at the top. It is 5:30 in the morning. I was talking with the Kraken, Steve Little, for a while, from like, I don't know, from like, we made a really good pass second round. I made my first round tune-up. It was my second stab at it, but it worked. But it is it's 5:30 in the morning. The sun is literally rising, and Sexy Rexy and I I headed to the prison bus because we had to park the bus up at the top, quarter mile away from, probably about a quarter mile away from the trailer and stuff like that, because of the, it was just too damn big to fit down there. But you could see it literally getting bright out here. So we're gonna go get 4 or 5 hours worth of napping in. And since we made it past first and second round with probably top 2 car on the property out of whatever it was, 100 small tire cars, I'm feeling pretty good about this one. So we're gonna chip away at it and see what happens. Here we are, third round, left lane, 7th there, racing my buddy Jake Boswell here. We were just hanging out. We were hanging out at his 4-wheeler at the pit spot, just shooting the shit, and yeah, found out we were running each other. But he's got a good car. We got a good car too, and it's gonna be a drag racing. He wants to win. I want to win. It's gonna be a drag racing. Good, better, and different. It's gonna be a fun run. Yeah, and you got the lovely wife here. My girlfriend, she did, but whatever.
For good reason.
For good reason. It's grandma's 98th birthday, but we're gonna try to make it work and see what happens here. Third round was heat in the day on Saturday. So it was, the track temperature was up there. The track temperature wasn't absolutely brutal, but the track temperature was up there a little bit. So I left the same tune-up in it, same tire pressure, same chassis settings, and I figured it might just get a hair bit of wheel speed about half a second to 3/4 of a second into the run, just because of the track temperature difference. And sure enough, it did. But unfortunately, our buddy Jake Boswell, his trans brake didn't hold. He got up on the brake, I got up on the brake, and he jumped out. So I had a freebie essentially, but not a real freebie. Like the tune-up was already in the car, right? So it got out there, and the sucker made down a pretty good lick. Especially for the heat of the day, I was pretty happy with that one. I figured we had a pretty good hot rod. With the ET that we went Friday night and Saturday night, we could have won quite a few of the previous War in the Woods. But the sport evolved so freaking quick that Casey Max, Bank Robber, Kelly Nate, there was probably Preston's were rolling pretty good. Street Racing Channel was rolling pretty good, but there was probably 5 or 6 of us that were rolling some of the fastest passes that Brown County has ever seen. So going into the 4th round, I was pretty excited that we could probably make the same tune-up change or run the same 60-foot as we did Friday night when the track cooled down, and that'd give us a pretty good shot against Bank Robber.
Action.
So 4th round against Bank Robber, same tune-up, same chassis setup, same tire pressure as 2nd round, 3rd round, and now going into 4th round. Bank Robber, they got a hell of a crew. That thing makes some big power. That car flies. That motor is like halfway past the firewall. It's an outlaw small tire car, but that's legal in what we're doing here. So that car's a bad mamma jamma. It's won a couple big races. I wanted to spend the money to go out to Freaking in the Beacon. That was like 20 or 30 grand to win on the backside. And I feel like we would have had a very competitive car out there. And that's a race that those guys won. So I knew I had my hands full, but like I said, my tune-up was in the car before I found out who I was racing. I figured if we ran the same tune-up and got the wheelie out of it, I put 15 pounds on the nose, or sorry, I put 20 pounds on the nose after first round, or after 2nd round, after the wheelie. I put 20 pounds on the nose of the car to try to make sure that front tire was touching the ground at least 150 feet so that I could steer the car out there. And I figured if it did that, it was gonna roll pretty good. But unfortunately, the rain rolled in just before that pass.
Guys, it's a little bit dark up here, sorry for that, but we are racing Rob Elmore and Bank Robber. This car's a pretty bad mamma jamma. It's won some pretty big races already in 2023. It should be a pretty good run. Straight Gangster's been pretty consistent, and it's been running pretty good. And if it runs the number that we have been, it should be a really good run, and see how it all plays out. But it's racing, you never know what's going to happen, but I'm pretty confident that we could lay the pass down that we need to lay down and see how the chips fall. But they're good. They got a good crew, good fast car, and see how the chips fall here. Unfortunately, the fourth round, the car came into a wheelie from 0.3 to 0.36 seconds, literally a half of a tenth of a second, and it slowed down the 60 foot 0.15 seconds, which is a crap ton. That's 3 car lengths out the back, at least, like bare minimum was 3 car lengths. And unfortunately, by it slowing down a tenth and a half in the 60 foot, it had just a hair bit of wheel speed, and you can't screw up against guys like that. We were getting into, that was down to 10 cars or something like that, 10 cars out of 87 cars.
11, because there was a bike.
11 cars out of 87 cars, and when you're down to that point, like, you can't screw up. So we're gonna be making some changes to the car here shortly. Everything is on order. The little bit of money that I don't want to say I even made, because I invested in all the shirt sales, guys. I greatly appreciate it. It was our best weekend ever in merchandise sales. But all that money got reinvested into more shirts and stuff like that to try to keep this journey going for a little while. But I went through, and we're going to be making some changes to the chassis, because we can't have, I can't have my tuning margin that small, especially doing this outlaw style racing. We will be able to run the car in both forms. It's going to be interchangeable, but when we're competing against the, we just have to level up the playing field, for a lack of better terms. And video is going to be coming up here shortly. We'll be starting on that probably Tuesday. All of our parts should be here by Tuesday. Also, good news is Gibbons Motorsports has just about all the machine work done on my motor, so that's going to be pretty exciting. I just ordered it up, or I got an intake coming from Kendall Going. It's a sheet metal deal. I actually have 2 intakes on the way. The other one Kendall just messaged me just about 45 minutes ago and was like, hey, I got this fabricated intake. I'd be willing to sell you for a pretty good deal if you're able to modify it and use it for your needs. So we got that coming. There's a possibility we'll be able to get the new motor in Straight Gangster for Gangster's Paradise, guys. That's $40,000 Friday night, $40,000 Saturday night. And with how fast we went out there, with the car being in not really outlaw form, we should be able to scoop pretty good out there. So I'm looking forward to that. We ran good mile an hour. We 60-footed pretty good, but it's definitely not as fast as Straight Gangster has been. And but we're going to see what we can do here. Coming up here in T-3 weeks, we should have the best car we've ever had. So guys, I appreciate all of you following the journey. Like and subscribe. We're going to be doing an engine build here shortly. I'll be assembling a motor. We're going to be doing some major chassis work here shortly.
This weekend we're racing at Magnolia.
Yeah, I wasn't going to put that in there, but we're going to be racing Magnolia this weekend. I'm just going to make some tire pressure and shock setting changes and slow the car down just a hair bit, and that should give us a pretty good hot rod for Magnolia up in Ohio. But yeah, guys, come on out. We do not have any merchandise. We do have merchandise, but we're just all about out of the new Straight Gangster merchandise. So that stuff we will be restocking in a couple weeks. We'll have tumblers and hoodies and hats and all that stuff for Gangster's Paradise. We're going to try to borrow a motorhome or rent a motorhome or steal a motorhome or something like that for Gangster's Paradise. So Lady Gangster and this little squeaky fella have a place to sit in the AC, because that's going to be a 2-day race. So guys, we're looking forward to it. Gangster's Paradise, you're going to see, I can just about guarantee you we'll have the best car we've ever had. And we're coming out swinging. So guys, we appreciate it. We're doing this on just about, if I told you the budget that we operate on, you wouldn't believe me. So, but we're doing it, and we're able to compete with some pretty good cars out here. But we're just missing a couple little pieces to the puzzle, and we're going to have a couple of those pieces back together here in the next couple weeks. So we appreciate it, guys. Thank you for the support. We'll see you all soon.
Oh.
You want to go for another walk?